generally the rule. The host opens with one poem, and then we go right to our featured poet, who today we are fortunate and blessed to have with us, Warren Dean Fulton. Please give him a good hand and welcome him to the stage. He's a wonderful, wonderful poet.
Nobody's as short as me. Nobody. I am.
All right, and I'd just like to acknowledge Christopher Levinson's here in the audience, and I took a poetry workshop way back in the day at Carleton University under his tutelage.
Wow, excellent.
So what I thought I would share, because I understand that in New West there's an arts crawl happening, and I like crawling. Crawling, I find, is what you need to do before you can walk. And so I like to organize poetry pub crawls, trying to convince people that poetry doesn't need to be as frightening as some people make it out to be. And so what I'd like to share is some writings from these poetry pub crawls, and that they are under the guise of a search each time, and searching for the elusive pooka named Harvey. And the first one occurred on Sunday, August 3rd, 2008. And so here's a bit of an intro. Reader, if you will please, before embarking further on into this written document, take but a few seconds to imagine a voiceover narration of a Rod Sterling or Leonard Nimoy type, speaking a disclaimer about the potential conjectural evidence and poetics about to be presented. Please try to keep an open mind as we conduct our investigation through pseudo-scientific means, serious drinking, into the entity known as the pooka. This chapbook presents information based in part on theory and conjecture. The publisher's purpose is to suggest some possible explanations, but not necessarily the only ones, to the mysteries we will examine this evening surrounding the pooka, also known as Harvey. The work presented within may contain poems, words written, words scribbles, words torn up and tossed, words abandoned, a short interview, some film quotes, photographic and other evidence of the evening of Sunday, August 3rd, 2008. The investigators, so there's a team of investigators, the people who participate in the pub crawl, and then I usually try to get random strangers to also participate. So what I do is I hand out little index cards for which they are to write on. Interviewer. Who are you? Harvey. Perhaps you should be asking, what are you, when are you, where are you, why are you, as well as how are you, if you are polite. To answer you, I am who I am what I am when I choose to be, where I choose to be, and I am just fine, thank you, and how might you be? Interviewer. I'm a little confused and a little intoxicated presently. Harvey. That is a fine state to be in. I also like Alaska, but seem to prefer Canadian provinces and cities to American ones these days, as the United States is somewhat crazy enough without my influence. I was for a time friends with George W. Bush, but he went over the deep end when he sobered up. I never trust someone who can't trust themselves. Interviewer. I am more confused now and am questioning my own sanity, as I can't see you, yet I hear you just fine. Harvey. That is perfectly normal. The best minds throughout history often question their own sanity. Many things we don't see or understand we come to accept. It'll be like that with me. Trust in yourself. I've people to see and things to do, so in the words of one of the greatest intellectuals of your nation, Nardwuar, the human serviette, doot doodaloot doot. Pub number 1, Swizzles. It's on Bank at Queen Street, 246B Queen Street. The crawl begun, primitive baby steps underground like lungfish of the ocean, gasping in air, above ground, heading south, ominous street signs. And then the second pub is the Royal Oak. Of all the trees in the forest, the oak is king. So these are all written while drinking and in 10-minute time limits, as is. So there's photographs of a participant, Steve Sauve being one of them.
It's very encouraging that you can write so well while drinking.
Okay, thank you. The third pub is the Atomic Rooster, 303 Bank Street, and Atomic Hiroshima, Nagasaki Rooster. O Crito, we still owe a rooster, Socrates after drinking the Hemlockian cocktail. On weather vanes everywhere the metal roosters crow for Socrates, as living roosters crow for the dawn of a new day. After 3 Mile Island, all their Rhode Island red roosters had an extra little crispy bit hanging from their combs. Colonel Sanders watched these birds strut their stuff and in denial approved. But the public's reaction to these atomic fowl just couldn't get any reception, as all stations were static, white noise.